uncharted territory.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Maharaj and Bruce, for your wonderful insights. This question is for His Holiness Bhakti Rasamanji Maharaj and his friends Krishna Shakespeare. So, if I'm not mistaken, we got two very different perspectives. Krishna Shakespeare, when he was speaking, he said that he never really thought about being a lifelong brahmachari. Is that correct? That you said you never really thought about it, whereas Maharaj said that he was very sure that that's what he wanted, that there was no other option apart from being a lifelong brahmachari. So the question that I'm asking is that in a very starting position, or even someone who's been in the ashram for a few years, is it good to kind of know where you want to be long term, or does it really not matter? Do you just kind of go along with what your seniors say and see things out? Because sometimes you can be told you're too fanatical if you have a long term view, or if you have too short term view as well. It's hard internally maybe. So maybe the right balance, how we can remain a part of the society without, how do you understand the question?
Well, it always helps to have a certain staunchness. I mean, if you're too indecisive, then there's always chances that you will take the easier option, what appears to be the easier option, of lesser resistance now. Of course, there's much greater resistance later, but presently it may appear to be a path of least resistance and we just give in. So it's better to have some kind of conviction and staunchness that one would like to remain like this in the long run. And there are situations where somebody may honestly feel, I can't make that mental commitment now because things are just too fluid, mentally speaking. And so I need to just check it out and I need to just see whether I can do it. So in the short term or medium term, someone wants to just see, and he has age on his side. Then say if he's joining his early 20s or something, and he still has some time. So if he goes on for a couple of years and then he sees that it's okay, I'm able to manage. So he should then try to become staunch and say, yes, I will continue. And if he feels that it's better to move on, I'm finding it too hard, then yes, he could consider. But just a word of caution that in one sense it's always going to be hard. It's not the easiest thing in the world to remain a celibate, especially in the current context. And as Kripa Prabhu was saying, that it's a highly incompatible situation. One is expected to be a celibate when one is surrounded by an atmosphere that is not conducive for it. So yes, we have to do both these things. That we have to recognize that it's not going to be just a cakewalk, even if I'm staunch. At the same time, one shouldn't be just too indecisive. If one is too indecisive, then better one gets married earlier rather than later, because the later you get married, then the later everything becomes. Then you retire from your money-making, whatever it is, later, then the children, so many complications. So if at all you have to get married, better it's after some years of brahmacharya ashram, not too long.
I agree with everything Maharaj says. In 1976, devotees were distributing books in India, the beauty library part of the old brahmacharis. And they came to Prabhupada on a Hyderabad farm and told him what their life was and how they were eating raw fruits and vegetables, and their life was simple, bathing, just the rivers. And he said, yes, traveling and preaching, best life for a brahmachari. Beware the temple. And especially the kitchen.
Or the deity room.
the deity room.
So my question was for Krishna Shetty. It was kind of to some degree covered there, but I'll ask it anyway. I was thinking that if one in the current situation feels that they just want to remain brahmachari and dedicate their life to preaching and being brahmachari, but then we see that there was other devotees, many devotees also who felt like that, and then maybe after so many years the desire arose within their heart which they didn't know was there. And so if someone is in the current situation that they want to just dedicate their life to that, but they don't know what's in their heart, what desires might arise in the future. So therefore, how does one deal with that? Is it, what advice can you give to someone in that situation?
Well, I would just say, echoing Maharaj about blessings, that if you keep a humble attitude that your ashram situation depends on blessings of the Vaishnavas, then you can actually I was very touched and struck by how Maharaj approached his sannyas ashram, approaching intentionally and consciously different devotees for their blessings. You can also do that with regard to the brahmachari ashram. And if you have that attitude of really depending on blessings of the Vaishnavas, then that will give strength. That will give a strength that will nourish that determination. There's a certain statistical situation which weighs against us all. I mean, in terms of Krishna consciousness, Manushyana, Sahasreshu, Vastudyapati, Siddhaya, etc. And then, on the other side, speaking of statistics, what was it Prabhupada used to say? The brahmachari, there's so much percentage of possibility of becoming liberated in contrast to the grihastha, 100%, 50%, whatever. So,
I had to forget it.
you were ordered to forget it. So, I think in general we're all sort of working uphill to get back to Radha. And we can take impetus, inspiration from the sense of hope against hope, which is actually one of the characteristics of bhava. It's actually a state of events. But what can one do about that situation? I would just say don't mull over the failures. And just look at it positively and humbly. And again, along with begging the blessings of the Vaishnavas, beg the blessings of the Grihastas to remain brahmachari, and also show respect. Actually, this is one of the main duties of the brahmachari, is showing respect, offering respect to all the ashrams.
Okay.